Hello and welcome. You're in for a special treat today. We have, for the first time in human history on YouTube, the unboxing. 60 years in the making, but here we are today. What are we looking at? This is a Sencore HG104 Harmonic Transistorized signal generator. This came into existence in the late 50s. 59 I think is the year. So, let me just get a better grasp on things here. I picked this up in an estate sale, and I do have something here. I'm not sure if this is original or not, but it's got a little plastic baggie that it's in. Let me just unfold this. Signal prob. Could have put an E on there. There's room for an E, but they decided not to. This isn't even talking about this Sencore unit. So I'm not sure. I don't believe that this was even included. Somehow ended up in the box. But let's go take a look at this. Where do we use this? This piece of test equipment for troubleshooting receivers. So, as I mentioned on there, tube radios, TV, hi-fi, printed circuit boards. So we inject a audio signal into the circuit, and then we can trace it along through the amplification stages and find out where our stage failure has occurred, and then we can zoom in on that section. So it's a troubleshooting tool. Very solid metal box. There's only a couple screws on each side. Let me take these screws off and I'll show you what's on the inside. Okay, screws are removed. And look at that. Pretty high tech, don't you think? As I mentioned, this is 65 years old. And a very simple circuit. Look at the size. Look at that transistor. It's huge. So who knows when the last time this was used. The battery section. I've taken out the batteries on this. They're C's. And this one here, so starting to leak. I had this sitting on the bench here for a while. I thought, you know what, I better, there's batteries in there. I better take these out. Good thing I did. So that one's shot, but look at this one here, Radio Shack. It's got a date code on it. Of 92. So I haven't even taken out a measurement device and see if that even generates any voltage. But after sitting for so long, you know, it'll just be curiosity's sake. But I've got some new C batteries here. Yeah, new to me. I've had these sitting in the box for a long time as well too. So who knows if they're operational. I don't even know what the date code on these are as well. But I'd be surprised if those even work too. So why is this not only a curiosity, but what piqued my interest in this as well too is I came across somebody on eBay, I believe in the UK. They have a modern edition of this, and they are charging $100 US, and they had 90 sales. So that guy's made some big bucks off of this thing already for however long he's created, and it's a really nice looking package that he's put together. $100. This unit, when it came out, was $10 US. So inflation has definitely kicked in over 60 years. It doesn't get used all the time. As I mentioned, I'm just a hobbyist. I will use it once in a while when need be. But it's still an important part of the troubleshooting. Testing out receiver sections, getting you closer to where the issue lies. So I'm going to put in these new batteries. And probably what I'm going to do here as well too is the first thing that came to mind was, you know, I'm okay with the ground, but if I'm going to use this as sticking and probing around, you know, back in the day, you had a lot of room to clamp on to giant components and resistors and whatnot. These days, we need a finer point on things, something a little more probish. So I was going through my parts bin, and I've got a probe. I guess I've used the red one for some other project, and I've got this black one here just sitting waiting for something. Well, something has come along, so I'm going to solder that probe on instead of that alligator clip. Put in some batteries, and then I guess what I'll do is I'll hook it up to the scope, and I put those batteries in, and let's see if this 65-year-old piece of test gear works. I've got it hooked up to the scope. Nothing going on right now. Let me just flip the on-off switch, and look at that. It's alive. gonna flip that audio video switch. Doesn't seem to do too much, but that looks pretty stable. Okay, you know what? Let me stick this in a radio. See it actually do something.
What's your location?
What I'm going to do... Oh, just my radio going off there. I'm going to put this probe on there. We're going to stick it on that realistic radio there and see this thing in action. Time for some real-world testing with it. Before I get started on that, here is a schematic of the Sencore. Not very complicated, is it? Enough of the talking. Let me show you this thing in operation. So what I've done, I put on a new probe. So I kept the original ground. Just have a better probe on here now. So what I'm going to do, this is a realistic 457 CB radio. And just to show you an example, this is the some capacitors around the audio output. So say for example the top of that electrolytic, I'm just going to inject some audio. So we can hear that the amplifier section is working at that point. But if I move down the chain a little bit, go past another amplifier, the output is a little higher. So this is just an example where, you know, injecting an audio signal and you can isolate stages to find out what's dead or what's alive. Well, there you go. That's it. The Sencore. Built in 1960 is operational. So it's not something you use every day, but when you need one, you want to be able to reach up on the shelf and find it to help you with your troubleshooting. Thanks for watching. See you next time.